All right, Bobby. Welcome to Mysteries of Radnarok.
Hey,
This
thanks for
this is
having me.
your introductory session to the group. I'm not sure when this is going to come out for everyone else, but for everyone else that happens to see this, this is a introductory session for Belto, who's going to be joining our campaign here in our next mainline campaign. We are going to be up to 10 people, which is going to be crazy. We'll see how things go. Um, yeah. Anyways, um, so as we get to things starting, before we actually start the narrative side of things, uh, what is your character, Bobby?
Belto Beltherd. He is a male crystal based gem dragonborn, and he is a cleric of Torm
All right.
of the
So,
Twilight variety.
yep.
Sorry.
So we are going to explore a little bit of Belto's story before he meets up with the party, and hopefully get him into the game for our next mainline session. So, Belto, you are back in your hometown of Bulambato. You just come back from a quite unsettling uh, battle that you weren't anticipating. Um, you had went out with a couple of other members from your city, and you had heard about some remnant of an old dwarven town or stronghold in some cave, and you were going out to investigate it with a few other of your party. But you got jumped by a Quaggoth, and one of your party members ended up getting completely mutilated. Um, and as a cleric, you tried to lend aid, but just um, the damage that was done to one of your party members was so severe that you weren't able to help. And then there was another party member that you um, you couldn't help because you used all your healing spells on yourself as a cleric. Um, kind of feeling bad after what happened during the events that took place in the cave that you went to go investigate. You carry back the bodies of your party that went out. Um, you come back just all distraught and just don't know what else to do. You let your party down. Two of your party members died, and no one blames you for it. Um, no one was expecting this Quaggoth to be in this cave. They thought it was just going to be a routine. Hey, someone reported this. We're gonna go check it out. But you ended up losing two of your party members, and they're a decent friend of yours. Not particularly like deep friends or whatnot. Unlike one of your um, elf friends, Miatha, but everyone else was kind of in there just to kind of help out. Um, and as you get back to the city, she's kind of consoling you and trying to make sure that you're not beating yourself up too much, but you're just in this, like in your headspace, you're trying to figure out what you could have done better, um, and really just taken aback by everything that happened. Later that night, you just can't shake this feeling of needing to recount what happened. So you go back to the entrance of the cave. It's a little bit of a chilly night, so you're all bundled up. But you go back to the entrance of the cave and you just kind of sit there, just kind of reflecting on what happened in that battle, what happened with the Quaggoth, and what you could have done differently. Um, as you kind of wallow in thought, you actually start to get a little sleepy, a little drowsy. I need you to go ahead and roll a Constitution check for me.
Alrighty. Con check.
18. Okay. Um, you get a sense of tiredness or sleepiness, but you're not really sleepy. It's in the evening, but it's not late where you would be sleepy at this time. But you feel like your
He's
eyes are
tired from the mental gymnastics of processing the incident, but
This is a
he's
different kind of tired.
okay.
This is almost like a sudden wave of dreariness, like not physical fatigue, but like mental
Okay.
fatigue
Yeah.
just comes over you.
Yep.
Um, it kind of takes you a little by surprise, and you fight it off for a little bit. Um, another 10 minutes go by, and you just kind of recall, and you kind of get hit with another wave of sleepiness. Um, need you to roll one more con check.
Come on.
All right.
13.
Um, yeah. This time you you start kind of getting really tired. Your eyelids start to get really heavy, and you start to fall asleep, even though like you're trying to fight to stay awake because you're
Yep.
like you feel like you need to keep processing what happened in this battle. Um, but you fall asleep, and as you fall asleep, you have these flashbacks of the moments in the battle where um, you have a couple of your dwarf and dragonborn allies trying to keep their distance from this quaggoth that jumped you, but also trying to take it down. And then you got hit at one point and got sent flying, and then you healed yourself to so you get back in the fray. But you have another flashback where um, Reginald, one of your fellow dragonborns, gets completely mauled and thrown against the wall, and then the Quaggoth goes and just starts slashing at him and tearing him apart. Um, and that's where like it really in that dream state starts to hit you like I like what use am I? Like how can I claim to be a cleric and follow the ways of Torm if I can't help those that I'm entrusted to heal? And as you're going through these rapid flashes and visions, drawing back to the battle, um, you're suddenly kind of pulled out of it, and you're floating in a void of white, and it's cold. Not cold to where like you're freezing, but the air around you is a frigid temperature. Not too uncommon to what you're used to from the town that you're from, being up in the mountains and where it's a little bit colder usually. Um, but it seems a little more nippy, and you get the pinprickle sensation, but the cold doesn't settle in, and you're kind of just floating in among swirls of snowflakes and clouds, and um, just these vortexes kind of kicking up, and then all of a sudden, two massive vortexes smash together and kind of clear out an area, and you see this figure with some kind of radiating light around it. You can't make out a lot of details of what the figure is, but um, it's some other presence there, kind of in your dream state. Um, make a wisdom check for me.
Wisdom check. All right.
22.
22.
Um, in this dream state, you are aware that you're dreaming. You are aware that this is
Okay, I'm
not
dreaming.
just not just a random dream sequence. This is something more than just a dream that you have in passing. This is some kind of entity, um, whether celestial or of some other nature like that, that is reaching out to you. Um, and from kind of an ambient voice, you hear your name called out, Belto.
Who are you? What is this place?
Um, you hear another uh, voice. Who I am is not of importance, but who you are is of great importance. You feel
How could I be of great importance? I just let two comrades of mine die.
it does not matter that your comrades have fallen. Life comes and goes, but there is a even greater threat that we will empower you to behold. And you see another figure kind of come in from the side. So now there's two figures there in radiant light. Again, with the radiance, you can't really make out what the figures are. You just hear these two separate voices that are talking to you.
Mhm.
Um, and the other one comes back and says, "You have been called to be a healer, but healing alone is not enough if you cannot fight. Do you wish to be capable of aiding your friends in more than just healing?"
Of course I do. Healing is a great gift to be able to prevent the deaths of those in combat and outside of combat as well. But sometimes, when I ran out of power, there was not much I could do. I could swing my hammer at the monster, but I couldn't do much else.
Belto, we are bestowing this gift upon you, and there are greater things to come. You must travel to the Lanthier of Lurin and meet up with an Eladrin of Ilenia. There you will learn the true purpose of the power we are bestowing upon you. And
Okay,
with
and
that,
out
you
of character, I got to take that note down. Sorry.
yeah.
So, the location name
Lanthier,
Ilathorin,
the Lanthier of Lurin.
Lanthier of Orin.
Yep.
Thank you. Lanthier of Orin. All right. Go there to meet an Eladrin, you said?
Mm-hmm. Ilenia.
Alenia. All right.
You got everything?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. You are pure of heart, and we see that in you. The road ahead is not easy, but the gifts that we bestow upon you will help enable you to look out for those who are also called to such great adventures and to protect this realm of Radnarok.
I just
And
wish for peace in this world for those who cannot obtain it themselves.
we are confident in your ability to do this, which is why we are bestowing these gifts upon you. And then you get this sudden rush of like divine energy just courses through you, and you start to kind of get an understanding and clarity of mind of um, another kind of magic that you're not accustomed to. You spent all these years training on how to heal and how to protect and how to care for people, but now you're like you get this sense and this feeling that you now have an arcane ability of a different. Um, you now have you said warlock was your other
Yep.
one.
Do
Yeah.
you want me to say
Um,
specifically?
no, not for now. Um, you have these other warlock powers that enable you to actually be effective in dealing damage, but also healing damage and mending damage to your allies and your friends. Take these gifts and learn what your true purpose is.
Thank you. What am I supposed to do to repay you for such gifts, such strength?
That is not to be of your concern. Go, and we shall meet again. The vision fades, and you wake up. It's dark. Um, a slight snow has picked up, but it's pretty light. It's peaceful. You see the cave before you, and it's nighttime now. You're not sure what time it is, but it's dark outside.
Okay. Um, how far is it back to town, time wise?
It's maybe about a 20-minute hike back to town.
Okay. With that, desiring some warmth as he starts walking his way back, he's gonna um, like hold his cloak in tight over his chainmail and shiver a little bit, but mulling over the gifts that he's just been granted. He focuses on just like trying to like warm himself up, and by casting prestidigitation onto the chainmail, I wait, does that work that way? Nope, never mind. I thought I could affect the temperature or something briefly.
I believe prestidigitation you can.
Oh yeah, no. I warm non-living material. I thought it said food for a second there. Yeah. So for during the walk back,
Okay.
prestidigitation affects the chainmail and it warms up to keep my
Roll an
clone warm.
Arcana check, just because this is the first time you're using this magic and you're not familiar with it yet.
Alrighty. 18.
18. Okay. You is it what kind of a spell is it? Is it verbal or is it just a
Prestidigitation is verbal and semantic.
okay? Um, so you start kind of going through these words and uttering, and you don't quite get them right the first time, but as you kind of focus and really hone in on that new arcane ability that you have, it finally kind of kicks in, and you're able to warm up your armor and give yourself some warmth. So you head
All
back
right.
to your hometown.
Yep.
Okay. So you come onto the outskirts of Bulimbato. You see there's quite a few lanterns that are hung up on the outer doors, so it still seems pretty early in the evening. Doesn't seem it's too late. Judging by the activity that's going on and the lights that are out, you guess it's probably somewhere between 8 and 9 in the evening.
All right. Given his mental state and needing to process an understanding of these gifts from like realizing that they really are real from the prestidigitation taking effect, and not fully comprehending where this came from, he's going to um, go back to hit the local temple and essentially like bed down in his little corner that he has, um, and just think about both the events as well as the mysterious, seemingly celestial presence that bestowed upon him these gifts, as he essentially is like flexing his hands, like trying to like feel and sense the arcane magics that were not gifted to him by Torm, but by something or else.
Yep. Okay, so you head over to the temple. Um, as you make your way over, you notice a few people kind of roaming around. You see people coming back from the main tavern, going back to their homes. There's a very light dusting of snow on the ground, kind of mixed in with the dirt.
Mhm.
Some of the very early on snow into the season. you see some kids running around and laughing and playing as they're going back home. As you get to the main thoroughfare of the road, you see a few traders that are finishing up some of their selling for the day, and they're closing shop and starting to get all their carts bundled down, and then check into the local one of the local inns. Um, as you approach the temple, you see one of the devotees to Torm there that welcomes you when you get to the door. Greets you and is like, "Good evening, Belto. Um, I heard about um, the unfortunate
Incident.
circumstance. Yeah, the incident. Thank you. The unfortunate incident in the cave. It is very sad to lose two of our valued citizens of um, Bulambato today. But I'm assuming you're here to rest for tonight.
I am indeed. I need to bunt down and have my time to grieve. I may not have known them well, but their lives were in my charge, and I failed them.
I understand. Um, well, we have um, a few bunks down in the um, living quarters area.
Yeah. Yep.
Got some good names, but
No worries.
if you'd like to stay for the night, I know that um, the the bunk that you normally take should be available.
Thank you. I shall retire for the evening. If you need me for anything, just let me know.
We'll certainly do. You head back down through the temple, and then you go over to one of the staircases that leads down into um,
The
a
living
lot more.
quarters.
Yep, the living quarters. There's like a kitchen down there. There's
Mhm.
the bathrooms and whatnot. You make your way to the place that you normally go to, and um, it is an empty beds for tonight, and you're the only one in your specific room. There's you hear some noises that kind of give you a sense that there's maybe a few others staying the night, but you for the bunk that you normally sleep in and the room that you normally sleep in, you're the only one in there tonight.
Yeah, he tends to mostly stay out of the way, but whenever he's called upon, he's always trying to do his best to help those who request his aid in any matter. But
Hmm.
especially on a night like tonight, he is pretty much going to be sitting up on the bedroll and staring at the wall. If there's a window, he'll be looking out, staring up at the cloudy sky or stars if he can gleam any.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a wisdom check
Raw
for me.
wisdom. 20. Soft.
20. So as you're sitting there on your bunk, um, you look out, and there's like windows kind of at the top that look out, like they're just above the ground, and, and you're looking up
Yep.
um, towards the sky. You kind of get um, the angle at which you're seeing, you see some of the mountains, but then you see the sky above and the stars that are out there, and you're kind of reflecting. What are you trying to focus on?
He's going to be replaying things over and over in his head, and mostly he's punishing himself because he was charged to keep them healed, but he had to waste some of his magic healing himself. And in doing so, when he went to try to heal the other one that went down of the group, he had nothing left that he could save them with.
Okay.
And that is what he focuses on.
Okay. Um, as you start to recollect again the battle, you go through vivid details of um, the specific scenarios that happened and other things that you could have done differently. You start replaying different scenarios in your head. I could have done this at this time. I could have done this at this time. I could have saved Reginald here, or um, Jolkin didn't have to die because I could have done this. Um, but then you get a sense, not the kind of divine radiant sense that you got before, but you get this kind of just warm feeling over you, like trying to put you at ease of like it's okay to grieve, but at the same time it's not okay to
Obsess.
obsessively reflect on what happened. Um, and you almost get kind of a weird sense that you're starting to kind of go down um, a path where you could get obsessive about these things and lead you to make other crucial mistakes in judgment, knowing when to heal or when to act.
Hmm.
Um, and these start to kind of affect your memory of the battle, like as you kind of reflect on this more and um, kind of go through and replay, those events start to change. The way you recall them is now kind of you're going through other like thoughts of, oh well, he was worthless to get himself killed, or she didn't help me because I took this hit and she could have protected me here, and you're starting to get this tug of war um, as you're kind of reflecting on this of this isn't my fault, this is my fault, kind of now having some kind of tug on almost your soul in a way as you're reflecting on this.
An internal war.
Uh, roll another um, roll another wisdom check for me.
Check. All right.
Yeah.
12.
Um, you have this turmoil that kind of pervades you as you're meditating. Um, and as you replay it over and over again, you continue to get obsessed about what's going on, and everything that has come to a culmination now is you now have the sense of like whatever's happening, you need to just attack whatever it is head on. So as you're replaying through things, you start going after um,
The Quagroth.
yeah, Quaggoth, thank you. Lost my tab.
No worries.
Start going after the Quaggoth, and as the Quaggoth is hitting your allies, you're just attacking it instead of trying to heal and being a supporting character in the battle that's happening. Um, and as you come out of your meditation, you are sweating, even though it's cold, but you're like overcome with just whatever mental torment that you just kind of went through, and you've come out and you're breaking a sweat.
Um, with that, um, he'll leave most of his stuff by his bed, including his armor. He'll get up and he'll slowly make his way outside and just sit on like uh, the ledge slash whatever steps, if there are any, leading to the temple, and
Okay.
lean his head back, stare up at the sky, and uh, be a little concerned over such thoughts, as he has these conflicting sides of himself that seem to be warring in focus. Not so much focusing on what happened and replaying it anymore, but just trying to dismiss both those thoughts and focus on what he would want to do.
Okay.
And in that case, being the healing and trying to focus on those for the meantime. But
All right.
just like let the cool air cool him off for a little bit, not focusing too hard on the meditation, but just trying to stop with the sweating and refocus his mind before getting ready to head back in to get some sleep.
Okay. Uh, Roll a Constitution check for me.
Con check.
Yeah.
4.
As you're looking up and kind of trying to focus on these are the things that I want to do and want to change about myself and who I am and how I protect my friends. Um, you uh, you try to focus hard on, okay, what can I do? How can I look out for these things? And you actually fall asleep.
How
um,
do I?
yeah. Yep. Um, the night passes pretty soundly, actually. Um, you have a you don't really have any dreams. It's a pretty peaceful sleep, which is kind of strange given everything that just happened in the last few hours. But you're actually able to sleep through things pretty well.
Okay.
You wake up the next morning.
Where do I
Um,
wake up? Do I wake up still on the steps outside, or did somebody find me and drag me to bed?
let's see. Um, so you're outside, but someone came and put a blanket over you.
Okay.
Probably one of the temple devotees that were kind of doing last
Gotcha.
checks as they were going to sleep themselves. So you find the blanket on you, um, so you weren't cold at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, with the new day, um, he will be appreciative of the gesture from the unknown templeman
Hmm.
who took care of him, and he will fold up the blanket neatly, return it to the main stores where they would keep the spare ones, and go and get his gear together as he tries to think on what the heck he's going to do today.
Okay. Um, you go down, put the blanket down there. You grab your stuff and you're heading out. So where are you going?
That is a good question. Well, the vision.
So just to kind of give you a
Bet on it.
layout
Mm-hmm.
of where the so imagine the temple is kind of near the bottom of kind of a kind of like an uphill gradient for
Mm-hmm.
your village that you're from. Um, you have a few different homes that kind of lead up the path back to kind of the main town center. Once you're there, you have the inn, you have a restaurant, you have the tavern, a few other kind of business type things, blacksmith, jeweler, all that kind of stuff that's in around this area. The route that you come up has a fork that comes off the other direction,
Okay.
and then there's another kind of uh, street that kind of goes up a little bit, and then at the end of those are also some more residential home type places.
Okay. Um.
So as you're walking up into town,
Mhm.
you have all the different shops there.
So as he finally gets to town, he's thinking and thinking, briefly trying to recall what was told to him in the vision in terms of he recognizes now that he has these gifts, so he, out of curiosity and respect for the gifts, is going to is trying to figure out who and where to ask about the Lanthier of Orin, because I presume he has never heard of that before.
Okay. Um,
And if he hasn't, he
well,
would probably go to the tavern first to see if there's like a barkeep or someone who might have heard things from passing travelers.
um, so one of your party members was a high elf, uh, Mytha. So you could
Gotcha.
ask her, um, if you find her.
Yep. Yep.
Um, you could go ask one of the other folks in the temple. They might know. You could ask in the tavern.
All
So
right.
there's
Um.
potentially a few places you could try to
Yeah.
ask to see. Yeah.
You said Mayatha was a slightly closer friend, so would that imply that Belta would know where she lived?
Um, Yeah, you would know where she um yeah, you know where
resided.
she lives. Yeah,
All right.
where she resides.
Um, Thinking that to be the fallback option, he's going to go with his initial thought of checking the tavern and seeing if there's, uh, if the keep or whoever's on duty has heard of the Lanthier of Orin. Um,
Okay.
First, just to like see if there's been any talk of it in the travels lately.
Okay.
But if not, then he starts his fallback plan.
Okay. So you go into the tavern. You go up to the person that's manning the bar at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she greets you in the morning, and you go up and ask her if she knows. And she says she's not familiar with the Lanther of Lauren, whatever place or thing or city, whatever it is that you're saying. She's not familiar with it, and she hasn't heard it from any of the traders that have come into the tavern.
Not to worry, not to worry. Thank you. Uh, the world
Looks
works in mysterious ways.
so it does.
um, he
Can I trade you
will.
into morning coffee?
That I would greatly appreciate. I could use some after my night's rest. I'd appreciate warming up a bit.
She pours a little bit of coffee and
Yep.
scoots it over to you.
He'll take out a coin. Do I have only the starting gold, I presume?
It's the typical like free
Yeah.
coffee.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry about. Yeah, it's the free coffee of the morning.
Gotcha. Ah,
Nothing special, a little bland, but does the job.
it does the job indeed.
Yep.
Sips it. He'll spend a few minutes quietly just mulling on things, just focusing on the name, trying to
Mhm.
see if he comes up with anything, but I presume that he does not.
Um, roll a history check.
Ooh, let me roll. All right. History. Oh boy. Dump stat.
Oof.
That is a 0 on that one. I knew it. I know nothing.
You know
Wait,
nothing.
do
Yeah,
I
you know.
even remember it right from the vision? Perhaps I got it wrong.
Yeah, you don't remember, or no, you don't know. You haven't heard of it yourself. That like it's a brand new place to you.
I'm Foreign.
Yeah.
Ah, Torm's strength. May I figure out how this is supposed to be handled? He finishes the coffee. Thank you again, miss. And he'll head out, and he's going to mull about the town, go around in a few circles, head into the rough neighborhood where he would know Miatha resides. But given how the events were only just yesterday, he's hesitant to go and speak with them for a bit. But um, eventually, after about maybe an hour of just walking around in loose circles throughout the town, eventually he'll walk up to the door, knock on it.
You hear uh, rummaging and rumbling, someone running to the door. Open it up. It's Myatha, and Myatha looks down at you. Is like, Belto, where have you been? We've been looking all over for you.
I, uh,
You just
I'm
like
sorry.
disappeared last night. What happened?
I I went back to the cave,
You went back.
and he's like avoiding eye contact with her.
What? Uh, uh, come in. And she like
Thank you.
grabs your arm and pulls you in.
Yep.
Um, he's like, and she says, "We were looking for you last night. You disappeared after we brought Jokin and Reginald back. Um, we said some prayers over them and we buried them, but we couldn't find where you were. We wanted to wait for you so we could like have your blessing with the rest of us, but like why'd you go back to the cave? Like who knows how many more of those things could be in there? You're risking yourself just being there.
I was barely at the entrance. I didn't go in. I couldn't bring myself to.
Okay, well, why did you go back in the first place?
I'm not entirely sure myself. Uh, it, I haven't I haven't witnessed anybody die around me before. I may not have known my family growing up for too long, but I may have been the gem of my parents, but I did not know them well. So a loss like this is new to me. I was figuring out how to grieve, I guess, in this instance.
Well, we you kind of gave us a little bit of a scare after we like we didn't know if you had gotten taken or like we didn't know what happened to you, but we're glad you're okay. Um, I know Kulvir and Amazir are were out looking for you too. I guess we didn't think about going back to the cave, but um,
I was only there for a short time. I went back to the temple afterwards and
oh, okay.
spent the night there. I couldn't stay there very long, but uh, I did pray,
Well,
and he hesitates briefly, but then will eventually inquire.
mhm.
I, while I was there, I zoned out a little bit, and I was pulled into a vision of some sort. It was strange. It was a white void, and I received another blessing, much like how Torm gave his to me, but and he just like flexes his hands a little bit, still unsure of this new magic. Um, but he will attempt to. Is there a candle in the room?
uh, there's a like a lantern that was hung up from the last night, so you could try to light
Perfect.
that.
Yep. So looking at the lantern, and he focuses in on it, and just like the feeling from the spell, even though he's like not 100% sure what the spell is, but just like from as you described the sensation of like some understandings being weaved into Belto of it, he will
Hmm.
look to the lantern, snap his fingers, and either light or extinguish it,
Go
or
ahead
attempt to.
and yep, roll an Arcana.
All right. Arcana. Why does that have to be my dump stat still? 18.
Um, so yeah, you light it and it comes full blaze, and Mayatha kind of looks at what happened and is a little surprised, like, um, uh, okay, um, I wasn't
I
aware.
couldn't do that yesterday.
I see, and you were just blessed with these powers by a
It
vision.
sounded celestial. It was white radiance around me, it felt. Though it was cold, it was strange. There were two entities. I could not make them out,
Hmm,
but I'm trying to figure out what these new gifts are that they've blessed me with,
I see.
as well as a message I was given. I was told to search for and I think it was the Lanthier of Orin, and to meet a Ladrin of Elenia, I think it was. And like he'll pull out his prayer book and
Hmm.
a quill and just like go to like a corner of a page or a empty spare page and like write that down so he makes sure he doesn't misremember that again later.
Yeah. So Mathia looks at you and kind of still processing all the new kind of changes. But she says, "The Lanthier of Lauren. Uh, that's very strange. That's not a. You heard this place in your vision? You were told to go there
In the vision,
in the
I was
vision.
told to seek it,
Okay.
but that means you've heard of it?
It is passed down um down my generation of elven kind for some time, but it's only been told in stories. didn't think the place actually existed just by some of the um like how little is known about it. Um, it is supposedly a place closer to where my kind is from, actually. It's a mystical place that almost um, blends the veil of our plane and the Feywild. I'm not sure if you're being called to go there, then you must possess something that is being called to there for some purpose. Not I haven't heard of any stories of people being called to the Lanthier of Lauren. It's if you're going there though, you will probably need to be prepared for the what's ahead from the stories and the tales that have been told. Um, the blending of our plane and the Feywild is very fluid, and um, as she's kind of explaining a little bit, she kind of tells you about some of the Fey creatures um, that she's familiar with. She's not very familiar with the
Mhm.
Feywild. Since she's a high elf, she doesn't di- delve too much into Feywild type stuff, but is familiar with a little bit of it. So kind of gives you a little bit of warning against some kind of Fey creatures that might kind of fade in and out of that area specifically, according to kind of legends and stories that she's heard.
Okay.
Um, goes on to explain that she's never been there before. She's just heard stories passed down. But kind of gives you a rough idea of based on the tales that she's heard where you might be able to find the Lanther of Lauren. Um, basically, there's a pathway once you get down towards kind of more the foot of the mountains. Um, there's a path that you can take to try to get close to where it is. It's um, if you're going through the mountains, it's going to be probably a 7-8 days journey. If you go down the main roads and paths that come up to your village down to other cities and around, it's going to take a little bit longer, like 14 days or so.
All right.
And she offers like, do you need someone to come along with you? This seems like a pretty
No,
big calling.
I can take care of myself, as we saw yesterday. And
You
he
know we don't
briefly
blame you,
fleshed that.
Belto. Like we weren't this wasn't expected. Like
But I had a job to do, and I failed. I failed Almazir, or sorry, no. I failed
Lauren.
Reginald, and I failed
Yeah.
Julkin. I took care of myself instead of them.
Not every battle is going to be a victory, and like we were jumped. We didn't expect. We thought it was just going to be a routine checkup on something that was found in the cave, and
It seemed like an easy mission. It's why Almazir brought me on for the job, after all. Get me
uh,
some experience.
yeah, and he doesn't blame you either.
I know.
If you are leaving, I would talk to the others before you leave,
Okay.
because we were all looking for you, so at least to let them know that you're okay
Peace
and
of
that
mind.
you're. I mean, we'll miss you. I'll miss you.
Thank you, Mayatha. And yeah, like for the most part, he's been like sitting down, sullen. His shoulders have been drooped. He had been avoiding the eye contact for a while, but especially like as she was detailing him stuff, like he was slowly like lifting his head up, and after like getting these reaffirmations from her, and being told the others had the same feeling, he's nodding. His shoulders are a bit up. They're still slightly slouched, but he's holding himself with a slightly better posture than when he entered.
Yeah. Um, she comes over and says, Torm is very lucky to have a follower such as yourself. You're dedicated, you're studious, and with these strange new powers that you have, um, sounds like you are. If you're being called to the Lanther of Lauren, um, I can only imagine what's ahead of you.
You have a better idea than I, it seems.
It's just based off of rumors and stories.
Rumors is better than nothing. I wasn't even sure I remembered the name at first.
I don't know of this Eladrin that you speak of, but the Lanther of Lauren is uh, goes back into some of early Elven history, as far as I'm aware. Bobby takes notes.
Yep. You took a lot of notes in mine here. I'll take some in yours. I'm
Yeah.
showing her the respect.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She puts together a little kind of knapsack bag of food and things to take for the journey
Mm-hmm.
Before you leave.
It's too kind. I can forge for my own supplies.
Just take it, especially if you're going to be gone for who knows how long. Be sure to
Very well.
check in and send us updates to your weird psionic thing that you do.
He'll give a little smile and without moving his lips, she'll hear in her head, "I'll do what I can."
As one of the only few people that you've actually done this to, she's not taken surprised by it. Be well, be safe. Come back.
I shall do my best.
She nods. And you leave.
Yep. But
What do you do from here?
On his way out, though, he'll attempt to snap his fingers again and snuff out the lantern, so that it's not burning extra oil on her.
Roll an Arcana check.
Another roll, all right.
Yep.
17.
Easy. She looks over with a little smirk.
Hand of that one.
She looks over with a little smirk as you walk out.
Good day. All right. With that information and news, he will attempt to search out Almazir next.
Okay. So you know where Almazir stays?
Mm-hmm.
Or lives.
Yep.
So do you go there? Do you go to the tavern? Do you go to the inn somewhere else? Where
Since I was at the tavern earlier, and that was only about a little over an hour ago, he'll attempt to check in at Almazir's place first, and then go from there.
Right. So you go to Almazir's place. You knock. No response.
With that, then, would he, if he's not here, be most likely at the temple based off of what little I know about him? Or
he could be at the temple. That'd be another likely place for him to be, or could be at the pub, normal dwarven. Getting early morning to things, maybe, possibly.
Yep.
Other than that,
find his friend last night.
Yeah. Other than that, based on what Myatha said, could be out looking for you somewhere as well.
All right. In that case, given how she was mentioning that he and the others were out looking, and considering if they were still looking and he didn't see him at the temple, he's probably not at the temple, at least not yet. He will then head towards the pub to see if his dwarven accomplice is drowning his worries, or attempting to because of his hardiness.
Gotcha. All right, so you get to the pub. Roll an investigation check for me.
All right. Made me roll all my dump stat skills. 15.
You take a look around, kind of. You enter in. You look around. You don't see. You don't see Almazir there, but you do see Culver there, who's the blue
Colvier.
dragonborn. Yeah, Culvier.
Gotcha. Well, that feels one later path to be taken. So, with that, he will saunter on over slowly and place a hand on Colvier's shoulder. Hello, I heard you were looking for me.
He turns around. It's like, Belto! Where have you been?
Out on a walk, and he'll sit down next to him and regale him on most things that he shared with Miatha, mostly explaining, I went back to the cave. I couldn't sleep for a while.
Well, you should have let us know you were going out before you did that. It's cold out there, man. There's a couple other blue dragonborns at the table, and another dwarf there as well.
Mhm.
So he's with company. Looks like he's just kind of either finishing up like breakfast or something like that, and catching up with others. And as you're coming up on the table, you heard him just talking chit chat stuff about the town and whatnot.
Okay.
So as you're telling everything that kind of happened.
Especially with company, I don't go into much detail. I just mentioned now I went back where the incident occurred the other day, reflecting on it.
And he kind of questions like, why'd you go back there, and
he gives mostly the same answers of, I wasn't really sure myself. Maybe it was Torm guiding me. Maybe it was something else.
And he looks up and he's like, well, glad you're okay. You gave us quite a scare last night. We didn't know where you went.
I apologize for that. That was not what I meant to do.
Well, glad you're okay. Amazir was out. Maybe he'll be back in a little bit. Trying to figure out where you went as well.
Yeah, I'm
he had
going
the
to
thought
be
of going to the
everybody.
cave. He had the thought of checking the cave this morning, so he might be out there actually. Now that you.
Oh dear, I was at the temple afterwards. That's where I ended up spending the night.
Oh, you didn't spend the night at your place. I see. That's why we couldn't find you. Okay. Well, glad you're okay. Sit, have a drink.
Perhaps one for the road. I'm planning on heading out soon.
Oh? Where are you going?
Being a man who gets visions, and because of the other people, he's not going into the details of it being the other celestial entities that he's unaware of. He explains things under the pretense of it presumably being Torm, even though he internally knows what that didn't feel like Torm. But yeah, I'm going to be heading on a journey and attempting to find this Lenthier.
Roll a deception.
Okay.
For me, please.
My almost but not dump stat. 7.
He gives you a look that how you're explaining things doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, he definitely pauses a lot more than he should as he thinks.
And he's kind of like, okay. Almost like kind of, we'll talk about this later vibe.
Yeah.
Yes, he says, so where you say you're going again? Are you just like going somewhere and coming back later, or what?
I'm not 100% sure. I was just given guidance as he taps him on the shoulder again, and he recognizes the familiar feel of me casting guidance upon him. The cantrip that's from the clerics.
What does that do?
It's essentially just adds a D4 to adds 1d4 to the next ability check.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. He kind of gives you a questioning look of like he doesn't quite understand what you're talking. Have you told him specifically the place, or have you just said in
Yeah,
general
I
you're
said Lenthier. It's
okay?
Lenthier of Lauren.
Um, he kind of takes a moment, like Lanthier of Lauren. That's not a place I'm familiar with. Um,
Yeah,
best of luck
I
though.
thank you. Mayatha gave me some general information on the where to look for it. So
I
at
see.
least I got more than a vision.
Well,
So I should be in good spirits.
how long you gonna be gone? Long? You gonna be back? We still have that. We still got the relics to unearth. We're gonna go obviously go in with a little bit more force this time. But kind of sucked to
Yes.
not have you there.
Well, I wasn't exactly much help the other day, but more
No,
forces,
no one blames
especially.
you, right, Belto? I mean, come on, man. We weren't expecting it, and things happen. I mean, not everyone can be on their A game all the time.
He nods and he doesn't really need an insight check, but it's like it's half dismissive. Like he recognizes it, but it's like internally there is the still self doubt. Like he recognizes everyone says they don't blame him, but he almost feels as though it's like they're saying that just to try to keep him in from mentally breaking.
Got it. Um,
I know, and I appreciate it. It does. It keeps me level headed, knowing that you don't blame me for the passing. But the journey would be probably at least 2 weeks. It could be longer. I do not know what is supposed to happen once I get there. I'm just searching information from an individual in the area, it seems.
well, best wishes on your journey. Um, it's gonna suck not having you here though.
There's other clerics at the temple.
There are, but not one as funny as you are.
I have my tricks.
That you do. Well, safe travels, and if I see Almazir, I'll let him know that you're okay.
I'll be searching for him before I leave. I'm looking for everyone from yesterday first.
See, um, we buried the other two. I don't know if Myatha told you or not, but
She did.
um, yeah,
Where
they're
about?
uh down at the temple graveyard.
Huh, that close, and I missed you by that much. All right.
It was about sundown. I don't know when you were out at the
I
cave
was in
again.
bed just after that. I think yesterday was a bit of a blur, hard to focus.
I see. Well,
He'll give him
best
another clap on the shoulder as he gets up.
best wishes on your journey. Come back soon.
And keep yourself safe. Don't go delving too deep.
He raises his mug to you, and he goes back and talking with his other
Yep.
uh folks at the table. So
And
you head
Belto
out
will
of
head
the
out.
pub. You're gonna go back to the cave and look for Almazir.
Um,
What are you gonna do?
he'll head back to the temple first, just because that's
Okay.
closer than the cave.
Okay.
He'll take a quick look around there. And then if he doesn't find Almazir there, he will glance down at the graveyard, look for the more freshly dug graves, but just from a distance and make note of it for later.
Okay. Roll an investigation check,
All right.
or I guess perception, not perception.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Finally, a good stat. Stop making me roll dumps. 16.
16. So you head out the front. You go over to where the graves are, and you quickly find the two kind of fresh graves that were dug.
He'll stare for a moment, but at a significant distance, and then, with no sign of Almazir, he will, given the others information, begin heading roughly in the direction of the cave, keeping an eye out along the way.
Okay. Um. roll a. Mm,
I'm keeping my eye out, so
do a
I'm
survival
perceiving
check.
this. Oh, okay.
Do a survival check.
I'm hunting him.
It's kind of more like what
Another
paths are you guys taking?
22.
Okay. You don't actually go too far along the path before you actually run into Almazir, who's kind of slowly making his way back, and as he starts hearing, um,
The
you
cling,
see,
cling, cling of my
yeah,
chainmail.
yep. He looks up and it's like, Belto, where have you been?
Uh, you were on the right trail, my friend. I
You had
was
a
there
story, sick
yesterday.
man. What is going on in your head?
I I'm sorry for causing you the strife. You had enough on
Well,
your
glad
plate
you're
yesterday as
okay,
it
but
was.
geez, tell us where you're going next time. Where did you go?
I went to the cave initially and he'll glance around, and from his knowledge, is Almazir is also like a paladin of Torm?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
I presumed as much. Um but I don't know. Something was guiding me that way. At first I thought it was Torm, but I think it was something else. I didn't go inside, but and he will convey to him much like he did to Maitha the vision that he received with the two silhouetted celestial entities.
That's not the way that Tom normally speaks to people. This does not sound like something Tom would do. Uh, do you remember what the personas looked like? Did you get any kind of
There
detail?
were silhouettes in the radiance. I could not
I
discern
see.
anything.
I see.
All I could discern was that there were two involved.
Hmm. That is quite strange. What did these visions entail? And I'm guessing you kind
Yeah.
of spill all the details. So these new arcane magical abilities that you have. What
Let me.
what can you do with them?
Well,
Kind of
I
asking for a little demonstration.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Kind of curious.
Oh yeah. No, I'm on the same train of thought as you. Because I'm thinking of changing it to the other thing. I was able to warm my armor up on my return trip back in the evening, um, as well as light and extinguish the lantern in Mirtha's house. I believe I saw her use it at one point. A bit of a wizard spell, usually. The I'm not so familiar with the spells, but
Uh,
and then like he'll feel like a
Prestidigitation, yes, it's a pretty common warlock spell actually.
warlock. Well, I was
Yes,
blessed with the gifts, and this
I was
power
quite
doesn't feel
curious.
of my own. With that information and just like stereotypes throughout the land, he'll look over at a tree, like look for like either like maybe a hanging pine cone or like a rotting piece of or like a dead branch on a tree and such, and he will attempt to eldritch blast at it to see if he can like take like focus the force that he can feel and just like aim his hand and just like release the energy.
Okay. Um.
Arcana check or just roll or both.
Uh. Do an Arcana check.
Arcana
Because
first.
now instead of doing something that's
Oh, that's a 3.
okay. As you start to focus on like trying to um like project some kind of force from your hand, um it kind of fizzles out a little bit. Like you try to cast this thing, and um it just the branch just kind of trembles a little bit, like kind of shakes a little bit, and that's it.
Maybe that was just a breeze, and maybe I'm not a warlock of some sort. Maybe it's another blessing.
Well, you said you just got these abilities yesterday.
Yeah, less than a day ago at this rate, considering we're barely past the midday.
Uh, maybe you just need to get adjusted to it. It's something new. It's not, something your body's not used to yet.
Indeed, it is two maggots within me, the blessings from Torm as well as these new ones from the other celestial entities. It's different. They don't synergize. It I can feel the turmoil in myself a little bit.
Yes, it's not something that you normally that one doesn't normally attune to on by natural means. What you have is a great gift that this was bestowed upon you by said comes some kind of possible celestial being of some kind, which is uh very rare indeed. Kind of like you see him kind of thinking through
Yep.
ideas in his head, like what this could be. Is like, uh, no matter. These new gifts, these will probably take some time to learn. Uh, you should train up on them. Be willing
Well,
to give a little tete-a-tete. Try out some of your abilities.
well, I appreciate that. I've done enough damage as it is, but I will have some time to hone my gifts. I'm going to be going for a bit of a traveling. Uh,
When you say that you've done enough damage as this, he looks at you and it's like, Belto, you're still not upset about what happened yesterday, are you? No one blames you for this.
he sighs. I've been getting that a lot.
We were jumped. We were taken by surprise. Uh, we didn't anticipate the Quaggoth being there, and sometimes things happen. Um, it definitely, uh,
You brought
it's
me into the group to help maintain healing of everybody, but I had to use my first bit of energy on myself, and I barely had enough to keep you up on the front line.
it is. I realize that what the task that was presented before us was not the one we were expecting to go into and have to worry about. Um, and you haven't really had a lot of combat experience before, so no one blames you for being new to some of this stuff, really. And you learn, and things will come as you learn and experience more. So just don't beat yourself up over it too much, okay?
I may have learned, but the cost was still too high.
The cost is unfortunate. Reginald and Julkin, uh, Julkin was very excited, and unfortunately, in his passing is quite unfortunate. But I'm sure they don't blame you either if they were still here.
I will be
We were
paying visit to them on my way out.
well, wherever this Lanther of Lauren, whatever place is. I hope we find what you're looking for and maybe unlock some answers behind these powers that you've received.
That is what I hope to obtain and be able to maybe refine these powers or uh, get more from Torm for making sure that what happened yesterday cannot happen again.
Well, nothing comes without training and experience, and this is a first step for you. So, while it is unfortunate that we lost two of our party yesterday, it is a learning experience. And as followers of Torm, we continue to fight on for peace, regardless of the outcome.
We fight where the others cannot, so that they may live in relaxation to a degree as they go through their lives without the worry of chaos.
That's right. Don't you ever forget that.
Indeed.
Gives you a puts his hand up on you.
Yep.
Um, you're one of the best followers of Torm I know. One of the most devout. I know that your journeys will keep you safe, even with the minor setback of yesterday. But take your time to grieve a little bit of what happened. pay your respects, and hope you come back soon.
I'll be back when it is willed. And he'll give a little grin at that, just being another semi-holy man himself.
He puts his gauntlet up.
It's mine.
Yep.
Gives a good grip.
And he says, "Torn brothers.
Brothers.
Let's go."
Yep.
Yep. All right.
With that, walk back to town with him, and
Okay.
I believe that.
And we'll just say that you guys were kind of talking about this on
Yep.
your walk back to town. So by the time you do the whole hand clasp thing, you're on the outskirts of town.
Just double check on notes. Yep, that should be everybody.
Okay. Yep, that was the 3 from the party.
Yep. And with that, he's gonna make his way to the graveyard and head to the fresh graves of Julkin and Reginald.
Okay. You see the 2 graves are kind of off to the right-hand side, kind of continuing the rows of the new graves. No tombstones there yet because they need to be carved out and engraved, but there's a few markers as far as some symbols that are made out of some twigs and leaves, some little kind of remembering ornamental type wreaths.
Yep.
That are placed on the graves. Similar to other ones that have been kind of laid out and have withered away, but you recognize these as normal kind of ornate wreaths that are used for the town that you're in.
All right.
And since there were followers of Torm, there's some specific flowers and leaves that are adorned in those wreaths.
Especially since it's been a bit of a day and the wind could have blown in, especially in this region, he will rearrange the flowers and such, just send them back up into what he would know as their default poses and setups for that, before just basically resting a hand as he's down on his knees between the 2 graves, resting a hand up by where the markers are, and just he looks around briefly. Does he see anybody within eyeshot or earshot?
Nope, no one's there.
All right.
Looking back at the temple, there doesn't seem to be anyone at the entrance or at the side that would be facing the graves.
And especially like seeing the names on the graves, seeing the fresh dirt, and just it hits him again. He looks up at the sky, and not wanting to be seen or heard, he's just essentially like he's trying to essentially emit a scream but stay as silent as possible. And from the pain that he's feeling, he accidentally while he's staring straight up, like releases his breath weapon of radiant energy straight up. It only goes 30 feet, I believe.
Roll a stealth check.
All
You're
right,
at disadvantage, Don.
That's because of the armor, so.
Oh, okay. Is that? Oh, that's armor. Okay.
Yeah.
So just no disadvantage then.
Yeah, 15 then.
15.
But like, especially like after like holding back the scream and then just and then hurt it.
Yep. So no one's around to hear it necessarily, but
yeah,
the bright radiant is kind of like a flash in the sky, and I mean it goes
flash
by
in the
and
temple. Yep.
yep.
Upon
Someone
doing
comes
that,
out of the temple and just kind of looks around and kind of just sees you there and is kind of just kind of looks at you and is like just seeing what's out there and kind of looks up at the sky and is like, okay,
yeah,
whatever. Something happened. I don't know what happened, but I just saw a bright white light as I was doing my things inside and just came out and just sees you there and just kind of gives you a look and like, okay.
With that, he will mutter a silent apology and a couple prayers, pat the ground next to the markers, and then slowly stand up and begin making his way out.
Okay. Um, so based on the two pathways that you could take from what Mythos said, you could either kind of shortcut through the mountains to try to get to the area, or take normal
He's he's gonna focus
roads.
on the road based ones just because
Okay.
of most likely less hostile things to deal with, so you'll have more time for processing and thinking and reflecting.
Yep. Um. So go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Perception. That is a 12.
Okay. Um. You go down the pathway from your village, kind of going out the main road. There's a few new carts that are coming in. It's kind of the middle into fall season, so there's some of the harvest coming up
Yep.
for trade. Um, that are passing by you. Um, you find a place to sit down for the night, settle in. Sleep goes by just fine. Uh, Go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
Perception. Eh. 8. He's a bit more zoned out this time.
Yep. As you're walking along the main path towards the kind of first city that you would take to get on the main road, so you're kind of like winding down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You start to uh, get into a place where you think you know where the path is. Roll a survival check for me.
All right. 21.
Okay. So you're walking along like kind of mindlessly for a little bit, but then you kind of realize, wait a second, this doesn't
This
seem
way.
right. So you take a U-turn, you get back on the main trail, and it's like, oh, here we go, and then
Yep.
you walk down the pathway, and it's about a 2 or 3 days journey, and you get to the first kind of bigger town. You're still kind of in the mountains, but you're a little bit further down from where your village is.
All right.
Um, do you have food in your inventory?
Usually comes with
You have mess kit.
rations.
You have rations.
You also
So,
said that
yeah, so that was one day's worth
cheap
of
gift.
rations from Mytha. So
Okay.
go ahead and take out two rations.
Okay.
So in this town, you find there's a couple of different restaurants, pubs, taverns that you can either get food in, find a place to sleep. If you want to rest for the night.
Yeah, especially given how it's supposed to be multiple weeks, when he can afford a stay in a bed, he will look to potentially get a room if it's affordable enough.
Okay. So you ask around. Are you just gonna kind of first place you go, you're gonna stay there type thing, or?
Pretty much, it's the general cheap inn in town.
Okay. So you kind of walk around, you get a sense of which which one is probably the cheaper stay based on
Yep.
the appearance. Um, we'll just say that for the food and stay, it's 3 gold.
3 gold. All right.
Yeah. So that gives you a full day's worth of food and a place to sleep.
Alrighty. Sad.
So you head back on out. Go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
Boopity bop.
18.
18.
Okay. So you're not quite at the bottom of the the mountain range yet, but you're now on the main path that follows the kind of river that goes down towards the bottom of the mountains from this side of the mountain range.
Yep. And I'll presume that I sticking to the hometown for the most part. I haven't been out this far this way before.
Right. You're not familiar with this, but you get the sense it's well traveled. There's lots of caravans, and you see more activity kind of happening on this main thoroughfare. So you go down. Takes you another 3 or 4 days. There's some rest stops along the way for you to stay
Mm-hmm.
in. They're like um,
How much more gold am I losing?
1 gold. So
Ooh,
um,
cheap, extra
yeah,
cheap.
yeah. They're little places, just kind of,
Yeah,
and it's a little more well traveled, so people
yeah.
stay along the way. So 2 gold for 2 nights.
All
Um,
right.
and you um make it down, and you get to a town where it's now a little bit more of a main road, in the main pathway. So you're now just north of Keg Boulder.
All right.
Um, you're actually, if you're on the map,
Yep, I'm
I'm
looking
actually
at
gonna
it.
be using this. Um, you've followed this river, so now you're
Okay,
you're just out here
gotcha.
after about a week's worth of travel.
All right. Um,
And based on the description of how to go from what Mytha told you, um, you can kind of go through Keg Boulder, or there's kind of a path that goes around. It depends if you want to go in there for anything in particular, or if you just kind of want to go around the
um,
city.
so I don't have much to my name. He'll walk through, just see how things are, but he's not going to be like going out of his way to anything unless anybody like tries to get his attention that isn't just like a scam artist or a beggar or such.
Okay. As you come upon the gates of Keg Boulder, you um, like, you're familiar with dwarves enough to know that they kind
Mm-hmm.
of live in cliff sides and live underneath. So the part that you're coming up to is kind of the top part of Keg Boulder, and
Mm-hmm.
um, you see a lot more towers. You see some kind of lookouts. It seems a lot more quiet up here because a lot of the stuff would be um, like in the mountain face or something like that. So
Yep.
um, you get into the kind of the top part of Keg Boulder, and you see some um a few little shops up here, some also caravans doing trade.
All right.
You get the sense that with how many stands are up here, this is where the main thoroughfare comes through to do the trade with Keg Boulder, and where they come and do their exports as well. So the
Gotcha.
rest of the city is mostly off limits, or and it's just for the residents of Keg
Yeah.
Boulder. Um, but as far as people that are coming in doing trade, doing selling harvests and food and whatnot,
Yep.
and this is kind of the main area where that happens.
Yep. And with there being food for sale, and considering he's already gone through a few rations, he's going to stop in to stock up on some more.
Okay. You see plenty of options as far as um, harvest grains, corn. There's meats. There's berries and nuts, and like pretty much
Yeah.
anything that would be kind of fall time, plus some of the
Yep.
standard fare. You see freshly caught fish,
Yep.
chickens, kind of standard
Gotcha.
fare type stuff.
Um. So yeah, I would definitely spend a bit of gold on just trying to resupply my rations, considering knowing it's a 2 week journey just to the location, and then I'll also have to potentially make a trip back. While yes, I can get more later, it won't hurt to have a couple in case I zone out and fall off the path a little bit.
Oh, go ahead and either roll 2 survival checks for me, or just take 2 rations.
Um,
Like,
He
would you
he
like
did say
along
he'd
the way? Would
forge
you?
one his way, so he
Okay,
would keep an eye out. So I'll do a couple
so
survival
roll
checks.
2 survival checks for me. Yeah.
A 6
6 and a
and
19.
a 19.
Okay. So take off 1 more ration for
All
your
right.
first week of journeying.
Boop. There we go.
Okay.
I haven't already gone through nearly a third to
Yeah.
more of his rations. Yeah, I should probably stock up a little bit.
And just for the sake of
Brevity.
brevity,
Yep.
you find a couple different stands. You get enough. You compile enough food together of varying different kinds.
Yep.
As
Looks
part of
like
your clerical training, you kind of know that you need to vary things up a little bit. So you get a good mix of different things. We'll say that how many days worth of food are you trying to get?
at 7 now, 2-week trip. So I'd probably try to
At this point, you know you have about another 6, 7, 8 days,
yeah.
depending on
Yep.
where specifically Lanther Lorne actually is.
So with that, I'd try to make sure I have like 10 or so. So if
Okay.
if you're keeping with the exact cost that's in Beyond, it's looks like 5 silver per ration.
I'm ruffling.
Yeah,
Ruffling.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
He'd spend about 2 golds worth.
Okay. 2 golds worth will get you. Um, 7 days worth of rations.
7 more. All right.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
I managed to scrounge around some of the vendors that are maybe don't have quite as well of good crops, so they're a little bit cheaper, and you use those to kind of
As long as it's not rotting,
ration
it's good enough.
Yep. Okay. So you head on
Alrighty.
out, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and roll another perception for me.
Perception. 17.
17. Okay. As you make your way out of Keg Boulder, you notice a few less caravans than there was kind of in the main thoroughfare, but there's still a little bit of activity, nothing too crazy. There's a little town along the way. You get a sense that there's a few towns kind of on this main thoroughfare that you can stop in and rest up for the night.
Okay.
Over the next 3 days or so, are you gonna try to stay in somewhere? Are you gonna camp out?
Considering he's already blown through about half of his money and he starts to get bad, he's going to be focused on camping for the meantime, since he doesn't know what things are going to be at closer to where he's supposedly going.
Got it. Survival check, please.
Survival. Boom. 15.
15. Okay. You find a few good places to camp out of. You don't stay directly in the town, but at least out enough where someone that would be from the town is not going to come out and kind of think awkward of you. So you make your fires, you prep your meals, you sleep in for the night. It's cool fall nights, but nothing.
Yep.
Nothing too crazy.
With each of these nights as well, he'd be like trying to like focus on some of his abilities, like making sure, like especially for his campfire and such, he'd like attempt to like spark it.
Yeah, with your your ability that you have with heating, not a problem.
Prestidigitation.
Yep, you get the sense that since you've been able to use that a few times, you kind of have that feeling of how to do that.
Yep.
If there's some other things that you're trying to do, it might require a little bit more. Like, would you try to practice Eldritch Blast again, or some of your other
especially
new
once he
abilities?
feels confident with prestidigitation, he would look for like a dead branch or just like something harmless that, especially like if he misses, it's not gonna do anything bad to the environment.
Okay. Roll a
Arcana.
Just straight intelligence plus your modifier.
Straight int. Okay, so no difference. 3.
Okay.
Poor net 20 on the other side.
As far as like how you've mastered the prestidigitation so far, you're not sure if that directly kind of relates to the same other magic that you're trying to do with like Eldritch Blast or more attacking type stuff.
Yep.
So you don't get the sense that they're related. Maybe. Or well, not necessarily not related. Not the same kind of exact magic. But doesn't hurt to try.
Yep.
Okay, so after the first 3 days on this leg of the journey, we'll go ahead and do another perception check for the next 3.
That's a nat 1.
So as you're making your way through the rest of this path, nothing's really come up so far, so you're not really thinking much of anything that's really gonna. Nothing should really be different. I wasn't expecting this roll, so hang on just a sec. Da, 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 da. Let's take that out.
Still gotta put on my soundboard. I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Okay. Hang on a second. I can actually kind of come up with something
Oh,
for you
good.
to fight against.
I'm also looking at my spells for the flavor.
Yep. Let's see. Try to find something that's a little bit more than just a pixie.
Whatever's fitting to the region. And yeah, Pitsy. Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of the cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I should be able to tank a CR half.
Right.
Oh wait, I'm 3. I'm technically 3 now, so I could handle a 1.
3.
Maybe a 2.
Let's see.
As long as it doesn't charm me, put me to sleep, then I'm just fucked. I could encounter nothing.
Let's do
because I see
Dryad.
absolutely nothing.
Let's do Dryad.
Let's do insert blank here.
Exactly. Yep. So as you're getting towards the end of the 3rd day for this next 3 days,
yep.
You're just kind of going along, minding your own business, and out of nowhere, you how do I want to do this here? Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Raw wisdom? Oh, wisdom save.
Wisdom
okay.
saving throw.
Where is this? Up there it is. Hooray, my best roll. Please not that one again.
6.
I jinxed myself. That's another that one. As I say that, I just see it spinning on 2 single digit numbers, and I'm just like, oh no. This has turned into a difficult situation.
Yep. So the you get this sudden kind of like feeling about you. And you turn around, and you see a dryad just kind of
Oh, hello there.
standing there, and uh, looks at you and is like, "Oh, what are you doing walking around here?"
I'm on a journey.
um, Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm. I made a save for a reason, so you got to read a spell effect. It sounds like.
Exactly. Yep.
My DMG is missing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's around here somewhere. Maybe it's in here, but I bet it's in DMG. I mean, I'll try to avoid. Oh, cool! It's in this tool. 121.
Yep.
So if you need me to help clarify how anything works, just let me know.
Yep.
And I will avoid meta as much as.
So what did you say your response was?
I'm on a journey.
And is this a journey, you say? Well, what kind of journey is this?
One by a higher power. Like, just for understanding for play purposes, I presume as a player that Belto is charmed.
Yes, you are charmed.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, you are charmed. I see. A higher power. Well, we have no need for those here. But I do have a need for you. See, there's these people encroaching on our land. Why don't you go take care of them for me? I think you have some magical abilities.
Yeah, I like to help people out, keep the peace.
Alright, well, you're gonna help me out. These caravans are annoying. And she points out a caravan that's walking along the path. Go blow that
Player
one up.
Bobby is like, oh shit.
When I protect people, you're
What? A caravan? What are they doing?
That's my question exactly. Go take care of it for me.
Okay. And that's Bobby saying, okay. I'm just like, I'm trying to process how to play Belto correctly here.
Yep. So you have this urge of like, okay, well, all right.
So
she must have a reason for telling me to do it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go do it.
That's what I'm doing with. All right. Oh, very well. I'll do what I can to help you out. All right. And he's going to start heading over towards the caravan.
Okay. You go over to the caravan. It just keeps going, and you say, "Hey,
hello
what are you
there.
doing?
What are you doing passing through here? My friend back there. He, they.
They. You don't know.
Gotcha. They're saying you're getting in the way and such.
Not me. I take this route all the time. I never had any trouble before with anything here. Is there something wrong?
That's what they say. They say that there's something wrong. They wanted me to take care of it, but I don't know.
You hear this voice and it's like, just take care of it.
So I hear the voice in my head.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
As you're charmed, like this charm effect.
Yep.
Yep.
Let's just shoot on out of here. That way they're not having to worry about you. Just he's not like, I don't know how to handle the situation as Belto. Like, there hasn't been an incentivization for attack. That's why I'm
So
confused on how to play this situation
yeah.
out.
So see the
Because
sense
the
that you're getting
technicality
under
is
the
just.
charm
Mhm.
right,
Sorry, go ahead.
right. Yeah. The sense that you get from the charm effect is they're a nuisance to me. I don't want them to be here. Like I want to send a message for them to stop coming through here.
Gotcha.
Almost like want you to attack them.
Well, that planty person friend back there was saying that they want you just out of here. Just stay out of here and don't come back.
And as she sees you do this, she you get another voice and it's like, kill him.
Hmm.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah, I was going to say, would that do that?
Now
I'll
this
make,
is kind of
make
like
a
a
roll on it.
battle of wills
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So I'm doing my own little flavor right
There's
now.
just
That's what I'm
only so
doing.
much a charm will do because there's different
Yeah,
levels of the charm as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
between how
I'm
many.
doing my own little flavor here. 19.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah, 19.
so you kind of snap out of this and it's like, wait a second,
Okay. Wait,
what's this thing
that
telling me to do? I
let's
don't
get it.
agree with this.
What? Ugh. Why would I wouldn't kill? What? I defend the peace.
And she said, kill him. She just yells this out to you, but now you're not charmed anymore.
Gotcha. Yells out louder in the head.
Look out loud.
He's gonna whip around and go, "Get out of here! This thing fucked with my head. Run! Get yourselves to safety." And he's gonna turn and square towards the where he last believed the dryad was, especially from hearing.
Yep. So
But he's gonna do his best to interpose between the two.
yep. So go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay.
Right.
I know I didn't bring it up before, but basically, especially with him being on his own and it being like every day, or actually indefinitely, I would have Vigilant Blessing on, so I would have advantage on the initiative, since I did not have anybody else to apply it to. So I have advantage. Good thing I do. That's a 12.
Okay.
That's 3 nat 1s out of the last 5 rolls.
All right. So the druid is going to try to cast entangle. So need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh, okay. That one I'm not as bad at. That's a 17.
And let's see. Hang on a sec.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out which one this is based on for what the save is. It's strength, but what's the spell based on? Is that intelligence or wisdom? Intelligence?
No. So, from what I'm seeing in the basic Dryad block,
Tangle.
both the Fey Charm and the innate spellcasting say DC 14.
14? Okay, so yeah, you succeed. It casts entangle on you, and you see the vine starting to twist up, and you dodge out of the way.
Well, it's strength save, so I rip through.
Or yes, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You as it grabs up to you, you just power through.
Nope, not again.
Nope. Yep. And she will just kind of let out a yeah at you. It's now your turn.
You tried to have me attack innocent people. You are not of peace. All right, and with that, let's see. How far away am I from the Dryad?
You are about. Hang on a sec.
Yep.
We'll say you are. uh,
5, 10,
hun-
15, 20, 25.
I rolled a max on the D100, so 100 feet.
And I haven't learned how to do Eldritch Blast yet. Oh
Well, hang
boy.
on. Does Entangle reach that far?
Does it?
90 feet. So you're 90 feet.
Okay. Yep. All right.
Because that's the edge,
So-
90 feet. So we'll say you're 90 feet away.
Okay. With that. Uh,
How far does Eldritch Blast go?
120.
You could try.
I could try,
Good.
but
Just
also. So with that, since he would have the warhammer at his hip, he pulls out his light crossbow from his inventory and takes aim. After moving a bit closer.
So equipping is an action.
All right. So main action, pull it out. Movement,
bonus?
move 30 feet closer.
Okay.
Anything I can do with the bonus action? I do have something I could do, but it's warlock based.
You could attempt it.
You know what? Yeah. Especially in the anger of attempting to in the anger of this thing attempting to mess with my mind and have me attack innocent people, I'm just like, he's angrier than he normally is, and not quite realizing it. He's gonna attempt to cast Hex. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I need you to.
It needs to make a. Oh wait.
Hex is a what type? It's
Oh no! There is no save. It just takes effect.
right. But I'm gonna have you roll to see if you can actually
Right.
cast
Yep.
it. V is vocal,
Arcana,
right? And
charisma.
S is what on the components?
That's just semantic hand gestures.
Okay.
So I guess he's pulling the crossbow. He's like pointing at her.
Yep. Roll a.
If you want it to be warlock based, charisma is their spellcasting ability. If you don't want it to be arcana or something like that, just try to help you figure out what you want.
Yeah, because like with the prestidigitation, I'm thinking like you've mastered like some of the
Mm-hmm.
like the actual like vocal and signaling parts. It's just kind of the nature of it. So yeah, let's do an intelligence.
Intelligence?
Or sorry, what was it? Not intelligence.
Charisma. Charisma
Okay,
is
yeah, do
the,
charisma. Do a
ability
charisma
for
check.
Wilds. All right. Charisma check. Nat 20.
Yeah, you can cast Hex.
About time.
You cast Hex.
Eyes are laser focused. All right. So Hex.
And Hex is good to go from now on,
Deal
so you don't
extra
have to roll a check
damage.
now.
I choose an ability when I cast a spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability.
Yep.
I'm going to choose. I'm just gonna choose wisdom. They're gonna have disadvantage on any wisdom based checks.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's bonus action to pull out the light crossbow, and I moved 30 feet closer. That's my full turn.
All right. So for its turn, it's going to tree stride. So she moves into one tree and comes out by another tree that you're closer to.
Huh?
And let's just see what the distance on that's going to be. Okay. And what's the movement? 30 feet? Okay. She doesn't quite get to you.
Okay.
But is...
But I notice
Going
where they
to-
pop out of.
Yeah, because, yeah,
Okay.
she...
It's still ahead.
Yeah, peripheral, yep.
Just making sure.
Yeah, where the trees are, it's not behind you. It's kind of in front of you.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yep.
Um,
Just trying to have used up resource. Ignore that. Anyways.
It's going to cast Bark Skin on itself. Doesn't say it can't cast it on itself in the description.
I would assume that it would be able to just do that anyways.
Just as a willing creature, and
yeah, it even says in its armor class it's Team of Bartstein.
Okay, so yep. So it casts Bark Skin on itself, and it's now 10 feet from you.
Okay.
And it's your turn.
Okay. 10 feet from me.
Yep.
Well, I've already loaded the crossbow. So at least it's not firing into melee range. But I'm not great with it, but I will attempt with the crossbow since I pulled that out. Actually. Okay. Yeah, just to get an attack off. So attack, crossbow, fire!
Fire!
That's a 4. That no hit.
Well, no, you rolled it. Oh, it just rolled the damage. Oh, you have it auto roll damage. Okay, got it.
I can turn that off, I think.
So, no, it's fine. I just
yeah.
The dice visual threw me off a little bit.
Yep. No worries.
Okay, so with it coming out, and you were surprised. You tried to aim to it, but with the new place of where it was, you missed on your attack.
All right. Bonus action. Or got that going. Yeah, nothing else I can really do. So, unless you allow me to use the bonus action to put the crossbow away, maybe pull out my hammer, but that's your discretion. You said it was an action, so no.
Well, you had the hammer out before, so I'll say you can, like, drop the crossbow to get your hammer ready.
Bonus action, just put the crossbow away then?
Bonus
or do
action,
I have to drop it? Drop it? Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck it. These things are terrible. Yeah. Throws it aside, but hopefully it doesn't break it.
And you can pick it up later, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you pick up your hammer and you get ready.
With it, so I have the hammer equipped, or I would need to spend a thing on my next turn?
You have it equipped.
Okay, with that I would close the last 10 feet and be in its face.
Okay. Like, you put the crossbow down and you basically dropped it and picked up your hammer. So, yeah, I'm basically counting the dropping and picking up as one action since it's not in your bag, you're just picking it up. So
gotcha.
Basically like it was equipped but on your belt type thing.
Yep. Holstered.
Okay. So you close the distance. Go ahead and roll for attack again.
I don't get an extra attack.
Oh, wait, no. Okay,
I fired the bolt.
That's right.
I just closed the distance.
Okay.
But it's turn now.
So it's going to try to attack you with a club.
All right.
Hang on, I gotta turn off my bedtime alarm, which gotta go to bed soon. And I actually need to calculate the HP for this. So hang on.
Yep. Oh yeah, we'll have plenty of time to do this.
Just rolled
I'm
2
fine
maxes.
a beefy one, aren't I?
I rolled 2 maxes in a row.
I really need that on my soundboard. I'm in danger.
Okay. All right. It's going to attempt to attack you with. Actually, I need to pull this up so I can roll it into beyond or 20. Let me just do this. That's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
So you take. Jeez Louise. Wait, why is it 2 separate things? Hang on, let me check. There's a separate thing in here. 2 to hit, 6 to hit with a.
If it was to use the shillelagh,
What's
spell,
shillelagh?
which it does once a day.
It does not. It's not.
Otherwise, that's a +6 to hit. So it's 1d4 bludgeoning damage. Yeah, it's just 1d4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so that's the 2 then. Plus.
No, it's 2 if you're using no rolls, or you just roll 1d4.
Okay, so yeah,
a club does 1d4 damage.
That's the 2 then. We'll just say it's 2.
Okay. Whoop. Apply. All right.
I'm just gonna do the Silao for next time.
Uh-oh.
Seeing that you took the hit, and it's like it
Yep.
didn't really do much to knock you out. So.
Yep.
All right. It's your turn.
Okay. I'm in his face. I've got my hammer out. I've got my shield in the other hand. And so I'm just gonna be like, you tried to have me kill civilians. You are not a piece. You do not deserve. And I'm just gonna try to smack it on the head.
Okay. Roll for attack.
Warhammer.
11.
That's an 11. Eh.
So you go up for the attack with your warhammer, and you hit it on kind of the side, but with the bark skin, it just kind of glances off.
And speaking of, I forgot to roll a Constitution saving throw for the spell. Okay, 11, I'd be fine. For concentrating on hits, because I took damage.
Oh, gotcha. Thank you.
Though it depends on your call if I would have advantage on it, because the Warlock invitation I took gives me advantage on concentration on a spell. So whether I have that or not, just let me know if that comes up.
Okay. I will have to try to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So many new things I get to learn. Okay. So it's gonna try to attack you again.
Yep.
Being right there. That's a 4. So it goes to hit you with the club again. You dodge out of the way. You saw it hit with the club last time. It comes in, and some of the ground kind of bursts out a little bit where you just were. You roll to the side. It's your turn.
All right. I'm gonna try to swing my hammer again.
All right, roll attack.
That's an 8. I miss.
You-
I have no bonus action that I can utilize.
Yep. So it's just kind of this tail and tap back. You all are dodging. It's taking the blow, but the bark skin is just. You don't seem to be strong enough to get in there with it.
It's turn.
It's going to try to. Can't try to charm you again, can it?
If the target saving throw is successful, the target is immune to the Dryad's Fey Charm for the next 24 hours.
Okay. Yep, so I can't charm again. So it's gonna just with the back and forth, it's gonna try to entangle you again.
Alright.
So strength save, please.
Strength save. That's a 14.
14.
So how do you handle tie? Aggressor or roller?
Aggressor.
Alright, so
so now you are
restrained.
Right? 'Cause I think that's normally how I do it. Hang on. Yeah, I'd favor the aggressor. Yep. So now you are, So now you are restrained.
All right. Speed is 0.
Okay.
Attack rolls against me have advantage.
Yep.
And my rolls have disadvantage.
And I think that's just an action. Yep. So it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah. Just. No.
It's still there. You're
Oh yeah.
You can attack with restrained, right? Or is
Yeah,
it
you can
grappled?
attack, but I would have disadvantage.
Right. So you can
The
try to
restrained
attack.
is- But considering I
You have
can't even
Eldritch
hit
Blast.
it normally,
You have
that
Eldritch
is
Blast.
even worse to hit. I need a higher roll for that. Also, that'd be firing into melee, so I'd have double disadvantage. What I... No, I don't want to waste a spell slot. So I'm going to try to burst my way out with another strength save.
Okay. Go ahead and do a
Would
strength
it be
save.
another strength save, or is it
Yep.
a...
Yep.
Okay. Get me out of this shit.
11. Nope.
Nope. Stewing. Its turn.
It goes to strike you one more time.
It has advantage. My AC is 18.
Oops, I think I might have clicked it twice. Nope, just once. That's a 21
Yep.
hit. And that is the 1d8 is for
You attempted to do the shillelagh
plus
last time.
6. Yep, but
Shillelagh
1d4 plus 6. Add a plus 6 to the hit, so yeah, so add plus 6, so it's the 3 plus. That's a d20. I don't want a d20 plus 6. Oh, just plus 6 in general. So that's 9 bludgeoning damage.
It's 8 bludgeoning damage or 1d8 plus 4, so whatever you do for that. So 9. All right, 9 damage.
Well, hang on. Oh, bludgeoning damage with this. Oh, I see. 1d8 plus. Okay, and was that the 6? Oh yeah, that was the 6. That was the 6. That was the 6. Yep. So that was 6. 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
6 points.
Yep.
Okay. Couple crystals have been clipped off.
Alright, your turn.
Okay. Third tire's the charm.
Alright.
Nat 20.
That's funny. So you break free of this entanglement.
And I don't have any bonus actions I can utilize.
Nope.
Oh wait, I took damage. I gotta do another concentration saving
For the
constitution saving throw.
No, you. Oh yeah, you did. Yep.
I took the damage, so to make sure to see if Hetz is nope.
5.
Unless I have advantage. Do I have advantage from my Eldritch Invocation?
No, because you haven't quite figured that out yet for your character. So I'm gonna say
Okay.
not yet.
So Hetz is dropped.
Yep.
So feeling that magic disappearing, I will then spend a spell slot to bonus action cast Shield of Faith on myself, giving me a +2 to AC.
Okay. With the Dryad's turn, you see itself get entangled, or an entanglement get cast against it. Does not save. And you hear this booming voice say, "I send I say," and basically like it engulfs or entangles the Dryad. And at this point, you see a woman elven figure walk out. And let me stop the music real quick.
All right.
Because I don't need it anymore. Where's my stop button? Why is... Oh, that is really bad in dark mode. I can't even see the stop button. Oh, wait, no, it's I'm looking at the wrong spot. Never mind. And you see this, woman elven figure walk out. Flowy white hair with a kind of a yellow, white, and pale gown with a little tiara on her head, and basically, what languages do you know?
Ooh, that's a good one. Belto knows Celestial, Common, Draconic, Dwarvish.
Okay. So you don't understand the what she's saying, but basically commanding the you get the sense that basically commanding the Dryad away or restraining it somehow. And she looks to you, and she says, I've been expecting you for the past couple of weeks. Come, Belto. We have much to discuss.
As it was restrained, for context as to like what Belto was playing next before the interruption, his hand was like crackling with an energy, and he was about to like reach out to attempt to strike at the dryad, but then with the restraint and then it being taken away,
Mhm.
he's holding off and dismisses it, but he's a bit wary until hearing
Mhm.
his name. You know of me.
Yes, I've been told of your coming. We have much to discuss. I am Alenia.
Oh,
Come.
seems my fortune was more favorous than I expected. And I follow.
Right. Um, as you both walk away, she releases the dryad. Oh, there goes my light. Um, and basically, the as you walk away, the dryad disappears.
Okay.
Uh, roll a intelligence check.
Int check. More dump stat. That's at 3.
That's a 3. Um, as far as you know, the dryad just kind of disappeared, or yeah,
What did
it's
you
just
do to that thing?
yeah. Um, you get escorted in to a very uh, through the woods a little bit in this section. You have kind of the main path where you were. You're escorted in, and it's almost like a veil of some kind that you're passing through to get to. What you see now is this just beautiful outset of um, flowing water, waterfalls, just kind of vibrant colors of trees and plants, and um, some of the rumors of what or stories of what Mytha told you of what the Lanther of Lauren was, you're now seeing for the first time. Just kind of the beauty and the majesty of what um,
How
Eldrin
long were we
have in.
walking from the Dryad encounter to this location?
It was maybe about 5-10 minutes.
Okay, so as we arrive, my shield of faith would be dropping from the 10 minutes. Um, for
Yep.
being only 10 minutes off the path from a route that traders tended to take, the fact that this place was so secret, there's an air about it, I sense, isn't there?
Yes, there's a lot that we do not disclose about uh, the Lanther of Lauren, which you are now acquainted with. We do our very best to keep it secret, even though the veil between this plane and the plane that you are from is very thin here.
That I am from.
Yes, welcome to the Feywild.
Okay. Huh. He's like looking around, like being like, I didn't
As you
even
look,
notice that I had like completely changed over.
roll a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, this is big perception. 14.
Yeah, as you look back, where you're walking from, you don't see any of that anymore.
Okay, that's a little weird.
And she escorts you uh, into a small little building, kind of like a hut
Mhm.
type place. Um, and you see other Eldrin walking around in this kind of um, really majestic town. Um, think Lord of the Rings at the end
Yep,
of the
yep,
first
yep.
half, basically. Yeah.
That guy.
Um, very white, ornate stone buildings, very flowy in the arc um, type of architecture. And she escorts you in amongst these other Eldrin who kind of bow gracefully and step beside as she walks through. You get the sense that this isn't a common occurrence for someone of her stature to be escorting someone into their likeness. So you look around, it's all elves. There's no one else here. Um, when you get to this chamber that she's escorting you to, you're met by two other Eldrin that are there. and she beckons you to have a seat. And this is kind of you're sat down at a table, and there's the
Hmm.
two other Eldrin that are up there. She goes and joins them. Um,
Okay.
it's like kind of a small council chamber type
Yep.
vibe that you get, where the three kind of up there on
Getting
a
that vibe. He was originally
yeah.
going to hesitate on sitting down, but like especially with that vibe, looking at the chair, not seeing any like manacles, presumably, he'd take
Nope.
his seat.
Nope. Um, and she looks at you, and she says, "Belto, follower of Thorm from the village of Bulambato.
Tis I.
You have been what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
Struggling, troubled,
hang on a sec.
uneasy.
I hadn't thought that's this far through about this part. It didn't exactly go
All good, all good.
exactly how it was according to plan.
Yeah, especially when the dice were like, "Oh, hey, you want to have this encounter? Good fucking luck."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, almost knocked me down to half health.
I kind of want to speed through this too, just so you could be ready for
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Just for the sake of brevity, she explains to you like the gifts that you were given. And she tells you about this item called um, a rad shard. Is a ancient item from previous generation. Um, uh, Rumors of it have been circulating a lot more so than normal, and um, she has foreseen or has been communicated to her that you are to go out in search of this supposed artifact. And using the gifts that were bestowed upon you, she goes a little bit more and explains what gifts specifically they are. That they're the warlock gifts, and how they are meant to aid you in being able to both uh, combat for yourselves, but also help give you
Protect the
strength
others.
so that you are there to help protect the others. Um, Basically explaining you have chosen to be a cleric, um, but you have also been destined with these powers to um, keep the peace of the kingdom. It is by some greater power that she has not divulged, um, that you have been chosen for doing this. She doesn't go into details if others have been chosen. She basically just kind of explains what the powers are that you've got, what you've been called to do, um, and where to go next.
Okay.
So, do you have any general questions that might come up in this
Um,
exchange?
in the
Obviously,
ex-
if we had more time,
Oh
I
yeah,
would
yeah, yeah, no
totally
worries.
go through the
Um,
conversation. But to get you ready for the session,
yeah, no
then
worries. All good, all good.
we might come
Get,
back and visit this again. I don't
I was
know.
gonna say
We'll
we could
see.
pause this here if you need to.
No,
Come back.
I want to get
Yeah.
you at least two.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mostly, he, especially like with these details that he's being given, he would be curious about like the extent of the powers and potentially a little bit of like asking for a little bit of training so that he can do it, utilize them reliably rather than attempting and failing to use them.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I can't think of much to question at this moment beyond him just being overwhelmed and
Yeah.
especially if she's being evasive on the higher powers that gave these blessings slash communicated with her potentially. uh he's not going to pry too hard, but he's going to be curious about why nothing's been divulged quietly.
Um, so with regards to the like your powers, one of the other
Mhm.
Eldrin speak up and it's like we can help you with that. Um, and later on, it kind of leads you through some meditations to kind of
Yep.
focus on that arcane ability and how to focus and really conjure those up. So we'll say from now on, you don't have to roll any Arcana checks for any of your Warlock stuff.
I'm properly
You're
level
you're
3.
you're now fully vetted through all that stuff.
I'm not pseudo level 3.
Right, right. As far as the evasiveness, you basically get the sense that um, um, she's not budging on that.
Yeah.
Kind of the whole mystical, hey, you've been called to a greater purpose, but we're not going to
Yep.
tell you all these other little facets that may be of importance, type of thing. But you
Yep.
get the sense that um, it's just that vagueness you were called to a purpose.
But it feels legit.
Oh yeah, it's legit.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why he's not pressing so hard about it. He's like, okay, God's worked in mysterious ways.
Yep.
Questions for later.
Yes. Um,
Yep. Like,
one sec. Oh, I thought you said 1 sec. I thought you were.
sorry.
Okay. Okay. I just misheard. So yeah, over the next day or two, you learn
Hone
about
the
your
skills.
skills. Yep. Um,
Pew, pew,
and
pew, pew, pew.
yep. You are beckoned to Elfrost to learn more about the Rat Shards, its history, its where it's been reported, its whereabouts. Kind of, she gives you a little bit more info about kind of just how it's it's really ancient. It's been an artifact of the world for um, ages upon ages ago, near the um, like very early on in recorded history um, for the Radnarok world. But you're being sent to Elfrost to basically learn more. They have more information there about what it is. There's a group there that's researching more about what the recent interest in the rat shard could pose as far as a threat if someone finds it. What are the ramifications of if this thing is discovered? If it falls into good hands or bad hands, what could happen? Is it a
They're
artifact of
researching its
evil? Is it an
potential.
artifact of good? Yeah, like it's so old that no one actually
Has any
has.
accurate info?
Yeah, so they're trying to kind of go through the archives and
Okay.
trying to just see like who knows about this.
So, question for Elena would
Yeah.
be essentially, so you want to keep the Landithero of Lauren and obviously its location secret. So do you have any suggestions on how I should perhaps approach those in Elfrost for getting myself involved in this information?
She hands you over a piece of parchment. You get the sense that it's magically uh, attuned to some kind of like a signature or
Yep.
saying that this is this is from me and like
Okay.
yeah.
So they would be. So I get the sense that the right people in Elfrost would be aware. So once I figure out who those people are, unless she tells me exactly who to seek out,
Yep.
um, this is proof. All right, cool.
Yep. And she also um bestows upon you a blessing of safe travels. So basically, like the rest of your travel to Elfrost will be event free. So
We.
no more rolls there,
Ah,
just
yes,
for
fast travel.
brevity's sake.
Elfrost.
Yep, pretty much. Um, so again, just for the sake of time,
Yep.
you make your journey to Elfrost. You're given plenty of rations and resources to make it there. Once you get to Elfrost, you meet the you come up to the gate. You present the letter or the note.
Okay.
Um, they notice it right away and they send you straight to the person that the note says that you're supposed to meet.
Okay. The basic
Um,
guards understood that. Got it.
yeah. It's pretty rare to see this, but when it happens, they know how
But
to.
they're aware of it. They're
Yeah.
trained for it.
Yeah. Um, Elfrost is more like it still has a lot of the elven type of architecture and flow, but you get the sense that it's a lot more of its own kingdom
Mhm.
in the material plane.
Gotcha.
It has watchtowers, guards as you were walking up.
Yep.
Roll of perception for me.
Alrighty. Perception is that. And that is 12.
12. As you're walking up, you kind of see maybe a few like defensive positions, like if the kingdom was under siege or something, somewhere where people might set up armaments or defensive lines, something like that. So, like, it's a kingdom that is built just in like
Yeah.
to defend
It's
if
fortified.
needed. Yeah. Um, and you're basically told that it's the elven kind of capital kingdom of
The
the
continent.
world. Yeah, of the
World.
continent.
Right.
Yeah. Um, and then you go in, you meet the couple of people you need to meet, which I don't remember if I have names for just yet. I might, but I'm not sure if I do.
All I have from the previous time you were talking with me was High Elf, Wood Elf, and the Fire Elf.
Right. I'm
I don't
trying to
have
figure
any
out if I got.
names.
Yeah. But you basically meeting them.
Yep.
Um, I thought I had names picked out for those.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, right. I might just figure that out later. But those are the folks that you meet. They basically look at the letter and it's like, okay, we know who you are. Um,
He is the chosen one.
ish. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, roughly. You get a quick read on what's going on with their current research. They have they're coming through and trying to figure out um, a few key things. One, where could it possibly be located? Two, what powers does it possess? And um, and three, what's kind of the uh, overall awareness of it? Because it seems like it's getting some kind of uptick in it, and there's magical um, elves and other races that have obviously sensed that whatever is surrounding this rad shard is making a lot of kind of magical noise. Like there's other kind of disturbances around some of that stuff. Um,
Okay.
so they're kind of researching into that. And as they ask you kind of like what your background is, you mentioned kind of the cleric and um, these warlock powers that you've been blessed with.
He leaves out the story of the incident.
Um, yeah, but yeah, you basically just you
Yeah.
explain kind of he's basically asking you like
I help others
what
and I
you
try to
yeah
aid in the
yeah
battle.
um and with that he kind of like, well, we've actually have a researcher who has recently reported an incident where he's been spending time in researching, so we need you to go here and kind of check up on this briefly, and
Okay.
then um and kind of with urgency, it's like, can you leave now?
Absolutely. I have everything of my possessions on my back as we speak.
um So he's gonna basically open the portal to transport via trees, and that's where you're gonna meet the party next session.
All right.
Yay for speedrunning the last 30 minutes of that.
Yum.
So
The Sonic Final Minute music starts.
there you go. So
All right.
that's where we'll introduce you to the party.
Alrighty. Lord up, Lord up, Lord up, Lord up, go!
And so much more lore that I now have to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you might want to have those names ready for tomorrow or today.
well, no, you're not getting there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop
Party's
recording
on the slow
now,
track.
just
Got it.
because. Yeah, party's not gonna
Yep.
be there for
Oh, I thought you were like, and
this.
that's what we'll call it. And
That's this week a couple sessions. So yeah,
yeah.
for
Cool.
those watching, thank you. Not sure when I'm releasing this in terms of other sessions. Might wait a little bit until we get to Elfrost for the rest of the party before this comes out. We'll see. But at least it's recorded, and people will eventually see it in the future. So we'll see you in the next proper session.
2 hands and I am magical.